Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. One man band, a one band show. I am here. Welcome to another edition, to another song of Hashtag Faith to Black. I'm your host, Donnell Lamonte Morris, and we just want to jump into it. Hopefully, Beast Johnson comes into the show. But for now, it's just me, and I'm not going to be on for too long if it's just me on this show. But this topic right here is really something that we really do need to talk about. But first, I got a correction that I need to make before we go any further. So let's go into the opening statement, shall we? So, let me change the picture in the background. So, y'all remember, I would say yesterday, but it's not yesterday. I mean, it's Monday. That my opening statements was the baby, about him not, about him taking himself off events. So I corrected myself yesterday on the Elementary Show on Instagram. If y'all tune in to watch that, I thought it was only right that I do that again on the show. I made that mistake, and so I want to apologize on making that mistake. A lot of shows won't do that. They will basically just go on and just continue on with whatever topic they're talking about until somebody calls them out on it, and then you know that. But here, when we get it wrong, we going to right that wrong. So I was wrong about that. But finding out that he was taking off these events, and found out that he's been taking off more events for his comments. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you put yourself out there on Jump Street. And you deserve as much as the roses and the rocks thrown at you. This is what happens. This is not a gay agenda or anything like that. So anybody who's sitting there coming to his defense, sit there and say it's a gay agenda, you are just as senseless and as dumb. So we have to understand. We have to understand that we live in an environment, black folks, that we don't own hip-hop. Think about it. Which pioneers actually own hip-hop? What music label owns hip-hop to the point where, with the baby saying this, hold him accountable, and that he's not getting all these like backlashes and all that stuff? I'm just saying hypothetically. Who owns hip-hop that is black? A lot of y'all gonna say P. Diddy. A lot of y'all gonna sit there and say Rick Ross. A lot of y'all gonna say what's his face from Cash Money, Birdman, Master P. Y'all can throw out all these names, but I'm here to tell you all wrong. And the reason why y'all all wrong is because yes, they own independent record labels, but guess what? Guess who do their distribution? They go through Sony, they go through Universal, they go through all these conglomerates that are owned by white folks. The power structure is that. Y'all have to get that through your heads. But at the same time, the baby should be held accountable for what he said. But we already talked about that part. I already explained that part. This is a lesson that he's learning. But for the power structure part, nobody who looks like me or you owns enough of hip-hop to even stop something like this from happening, to even influence the decisions that are going on right now. You know how like a lot of hip hop stars said players and playettes? The ironic truth about them putting in their lyrics, this is true. They are players and playettes. They don't own the team. They're not even a general manager or in the position of power to sit there and tell them what they need to do and what they should do. Because next thing you know, they're getting fired and somebody else manufactured to do the thing that you already been doing or what they have been doing. So stop it with this gay agenda BS, which we're going to be talking about further in the show. This is the power structure. This is the music and tickets you buy to go see. Yes, you go to the baby concert. You think a majority of that money is going to him? Just think about that. To the freaking writing the music, to engineering the music, to actually going into the booth, actually rapping. Then we talking about distribution. Then we talk about touring. What part of all that does the baby really do have influence? Where to the point where he could just stop it and tell him, no, I'm not doing it like this. He may have some influence. I'll give the baby and everybody else in this position an extent. I agree with that to an extent that they do have an influence. But when they do that, unless he's one of their biggest money makers, the record label's already looking for somebody in line to replace him. That don't look like us. So stop looking at it on the surface and actually dig deep to understand what is actually going on. Black people don't own hip hop. We only consume hip hop. We made it over $1 billion. How about this? And then I'm gonna go in here because Beast just popped in. Take this, put this on your mental with the situations going on with the debate and all these I don't want to say conglomerates, but all these festivals that's ran by conglomerates that are dropping him. Just think about it. Just think about this. In a hip hop game, how many black billionaires were produced? Now I'm not going by, how much they're worth, but who? I'm talking when hip hop's first inception was like what? The early 80s, well, late 70s, early 80s. From there to now, how many billionaires and multi-millionaires? I'm not talking about 100 million. I'm talking about close to like Mayweather money. I'm not going to say Mayweather money. I'm talking Elon Musk type money. Jeff Bezos type money. How many of those hip-hop stars from then to now do we have to make power plays? If you can find at least 2 or at least 3, then we can have this conversation on the power structure. Or who really runs hip-hop. Or even if hip-hop is for us. Put down your mental. And with that, I yield the floor.
Good evening. I want to talk about letting cooler heads prevail. I always go into every situation emotionally detached so that you can remain logical about it. I say that to tell this quick story of 2 former employees and former co-workers of mine. They were recently let go. One being old, one being young. Literally the end and the both ends of the age spectrum of my little area. But the old one hit issues and ways about him and made too many personal comments in a professional environment towards the young one. The young one's still sensible, still raw with the whole, I'm a man, you ain't gonna just say whatever to me. The older you get, the better you go about handling those type of situations and getting that point across. Well, they had words again, and I say again because it's the fourth time that the old one was documented for these type of ways. And it led to more bravado, more nigga, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna get my peoples, nigga, on my mama and my kids, I'll fuck you up, this and then this whole bunch of lip boxing. Oh, one really ain't about that life. But the kid want a posture because he know there's cameras. So he's trying to instigate to get the young one to make an aggressive stance and aggressive action on camera towards him, i.e. a swing. What ended up happening though was when he tried to make a rush for him, I being the type of individual that I am, intervened because we work around cool ass white people that pay us good money to do basically nothing. I refuse to fuck that up. And I refuse to let anybody put any kind of extra eyes around me. So yes, I'm going to intervene, de-escalate the situation. And in the process of me de-escalating the situation and trying to restrain and contain the old one by means of grabbing him, it turned into a sumo double-handed force push that knocked this old nigga on his ass. That being on camera, we go through the whole rigmarole. End of the story. I'm clear because it showed that I was trying to de-escalate, and I guess I'm stronger than I appear. Unfortunately, the young one, as well as the old one, the instigator, were fired. Now here's how karma comes into play, and always letting cooler heads prevail. The young one, because he went through a tip agency, and because on all accounts, he was not the antagonist, but he was antagonized. So there's a level of understanding to his actions and comments. He was able to bounce back rather quickly, and congratulations to him. He already got another job and placement lined up, so his money ain't fucked up. But congratulations to the brother out there. If you ever get a chance to watch this, he know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna name names. You know, he got another youngin' on the way too, so you know that's a good thing for him to bounce back like that. Whereas the elder of the situation, and I use that term very loosely, was fired, prohibited from attaining unemployment, and due to not letting cooler heads prevail, forego a bonus check that we will be receiving in the coming weeks. That's like a stimulus check, minimal. So you already know what kind of figures we talking here. As you just shut your mouth and kept your person to yourself, you still be employed and you still be getting that money. You thought you was gonna hustle the system and it didn't work out in your favor. Always remember, people, going into a situation, you have to let cooler heads prevail. Because no matter what you think, how you feel as though it might go down, there is an abundance of unknown, known, and known unknown variables that could easily fuck up that whole wet dream. And in the case of the old man, yeah, he's got a real fucked up wet dream. So always let cooler heads prevail. as well as be careful how you treat folk, because karma's a bitch. And how you feel.
Well, Beast, like always, man, you come in at the nick of time. I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
I gotta get the movement. I'm always hustling, trying to get shit right to give me time to do what the fuck I want.
I feel you. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump into this story. Black LGBTQ plus versus black men. It's all in the title. So let's start off with the not black agenda, because we do need a black agenda, but the gay agenda. I'm gonna throw out a name.
Can I just start off with the obvious unknown question that people just really need to ask?
Yes,
because we're talking about the general consensus. This includes street niggas, suburb niggas, prison niggas, all forms, variations, and occupations, and intelligence levels of niggas. The overall consensus about the LGBTQ community, we're just gonna start from the gay end, is most of us knew most of you people were gonna end up the way that you are long before you did. You never really gave a fuck at the end of the day. It's a mere level of respect. We can respect you. We ask that you give us the same respect and courtesy. And that just comes from it's a compromise. We won't say certain shit and ask certain shit and take the initiative to learn the correct verbiage. But you have to monitor and maintain a certain level of public decorum about yourselves. Because all that's not, some of that shit y'all, a bulk of this shit y'all do ain't fucking necessary. We get it. Okay. Good for you. As long as you a cool person at the end of the day, we'll fucking defend you to the end. I personally know of one particular transgender individual brother that's now living his life as a woman. We knew in fucking high school before the boy started wearing dresses that he was going to end up that way. And no one that knows him has ever shown him any bit of hatred or persecution. We knew it wasn't a surprise. You were still a good person at the end of the day, and you was honest about who you were. So, what the fuck I look like sitting there hating you for you acknowledging who the fuck you are? That's how you want to live your life? Cool.
Now, I'm going to jump in. They didn't mean to cut you off. This gay agenda, it's showing on television. What about the kids? What about, all this and all about that? And this is why I got to say.
Yeah, go ahead. I feel like I'm on line with you all.
Yeah, so this is what I got to say about this, because I think it's barbershop talk. And Beach, you know what I'm getting at with the barbershop talk. You got that one person. It's it's good to chop it up with the fellas. It's been a while since I went to a barbershop because I just cut my own damn hair. And we talked about some crazy shit in the barbershop. But my point is this. You got that one person that steers, they live on conspiracies. They just, even from the water, like right now I'm drinking the Bud Light Platinum, by the way, seltzer, which is pretty damn good, by the way. He could say there's a conspiracy with that. He could say it's a conspiracy why black people eat a lot of watermelon. That one person that live in conspiracies.
Tag in real quick. I want to bust a bubble real quick to all you new seltzer drinking people out here drinking this Bud Light seltzer and all these seltzer malt liquors. You niggas is drinking old 90s stock of Zima
I know, right?
with some Mio.
That's true.
I want y'all to know that they cracked open every fucking bottle of Zima from the 90s, added some Mio, shook that shit up and recarbonated it, threw it on ice, and just put it in new cans and shit. Now it's good, but they like, cause look, what you say to yourself, it tastes familiar, but it tastes good.
You ain't lying. Yeah, because
you niggas is drinking Zima.
Yeah. You remember it was in a bottle, right? You remember it was a glass bottle. I remember because my aunt, she let me drink a little bit of it. I was like, it's not that bad. Because at first it was a woman's drink. You didn't see no man drink that drink because they always thought it was a woman's drink. Now you see everybody and their mama drinking all this seltzer now, which is pretty damn good.
That was just like with Barnum's and James. I ain't drinking this shit. That's for women. Then your ass turned 14, 15. That was the only thing your ass could get a hold of and get drunk off of.
Mm-hmm. You ain't lying about that. But it's funny that you bring that up because nobody wasn't saying, okay, so when they say that they see nothing but gay, excuse my language on this show for both me and Beast, it's going to get vulgar. When they talk about saying a lot of gay shit that they see, this. It's in our magazines, it's in our, it's in our TVs and all that stuff. But then you think, were y'all the ones complaining about, when you got a lot of malt liquor? Because I remember back in the day, and still today, when you was in the little jet magazines, where they had the malt liquor, they had the Newports, and what they had up on there, sexy women, or a good looking dude up on there, heterosexual. All these things.
Yeah. Now here's what we got to get technical. Good.
Yeah. All these things, heterosexual, or you look at all these magazines. It used to be skinny girls. A lot of the big girls was like, "Look, why y'all ain't showing us?" Now all of a sudden you see nothing but big girls in pictures now, and they complain about that now. Yeah. And me and Beast. Look, Beast, me and you agree. We like our women with a little bit of meat on their bones. You feel me? Some just give them for the
winter. No. It's a psychological thing, and I'm gonna have to be as respectfully blunt as I can. But the true psychology behind that, I've come to understand is it's a way to test your prowess, how you stand as a man, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you.
Cause how my godfather, aka my namesake, used to tell me, if you can make a big girl giggle and wiggle, you can destroy anything smaller than her. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, if you are benevolently, divinely graced and blessed with the equipment, then you can knock down anything.
This is true.
So, brothers that feel like I'm working with something, yeah, you want to go for a big girl, because if you could take down a girl with an ass bigger than Brick House, and what was that? 36, 24, 46. I don't want to have them bags. Now they up here to 52 to 65. Think of it like deer hunting. Why go for a 3-point buck when there's a 12-point buck right over there in the corner? I want that 12-point buck.
I mean, simple, because so basically get to the point what I'm trying to say is every generation is different. Every decade is different. People gotta understand that they realize that change is a scary thing. And sometimes they're so immune to change that they don't even know that they're afraid of it. They don't even know that's happening before their eyes. Gays, the LGBTQ community just didn't just pop up out of nowhere. If you look
Which
up
they
the
did.
history, yeah, you gotta look up the history of LGBTQ. Just like with black and white interracial relationships, if you were caught with the same sex holding hands, your ass, two things are gonna happen. Number one, your ass is gonna go to jail, or most of all, you get beat
That's
to
if
the
you
end
make it
of
to
your
jail.
life. Right. And you get
You
beat to
blessed
the
if
end
you
of
make
your
it to the
life.
jail.
And and look, and the crazy
That's
thing
what you
is
want.
that right, and the crazy thing is that people fail to forget is that even you had prominent people that was in the civil rights movement that
Mm-hmm.
were gay and lesbian that helped us to get to where we are today. Look, I say this, we're better off than we was from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
But
one.
we're here now. We're here now, and they was in the struggle too. And for us to sit here and just pretend that all of a sudden there's too much gay shit going on now, that gayness is all of a sudden it's a disorder in the mind. But then I gotta think to myself, what about heterosexual? Think about it. If we go sit there and say gayness is a mental illness, then I would think heterosexual. Well, I take that back. Wind that back.
No, 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 no. No, you're right. Because
Yeah,
the core of all sexual deviancy and fetishes lies within heterosexuality.
yeah, and so my point is, if because they said that being gay is a choice, and then I would say then heterosexual is a choice too, because when you at that age, I would say around maybe 5, 6, 7 ish for a boy. What's the one thing your dad would tell you? Hey son, you see that over there? Yeah, you see that, right? See that sexy thing over there? When the first time, Beast, your dad told you, hey, you see that over there?
Mm-mm. Mm. My father was very opportunistic and subliminal with his shit.
Oh,
So, like, when it comes to that whole scenario, I can compare my earliest memory to that of Look Who's Talking when he took when John Travolta took little man to his job and they saying that healthy looking secretary. And all that baby thought was like, yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
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 I had that type of moment. I, I was old enough to remember in my head that she was 19, and she made it very clear she was one of them old cougars in the training. Boy, I can't wait till you get grown, boy. You gonna be handsome just like your daddy. Mess around and see you might have to link up with you like
I, look,
shit. At that point, I like women.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
ain't no need for the talk. My dad found out he found out was like you need to talk to your son. What you mean? You need to talk to your son. I found him in the closet with that little girl across the street. Their pants was down.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, I'm
I
honest.
mean,
Ain't gonna save me. Shit.
yeah, I mean, freaking, your dad is the one that tells you to like girls, to love girls.
He he subconsciously, if he's
Put
a
that in your
smart
mind.
parent,
Yeah,
if he's a smart parent, he leads you. He kind of wants for, for purpose of moving the last name for another generation. You
yeah,
lead them into that way. Even if you kind of look at them, because some fathers know, they're not surprised. You still kind of hope. I hope he's one of those late in life gays. So I at least get a grandson.
right.
Like, I'm cool with that. You cool with your son being gay? Like, yeah, as long as he's late in life. I just want a grandson. long as I know the last name move for another generation, I'm good. He can love whatever the fuck he wants to after that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a simple thing. But you, us black men mainly, I
Yeah.
know we got a lot of pressure on us. We're targeted the most. They said the most disrespectful being, I'm paraphrasing what Malcolm X says, is most you get the most disrespect is black women. The reason why I believe that to an extent, it starts with us. It
It
starts
does.
with the black man. And that's the one thing where I don't get why people, when they talk about Malcolm X, they only stop at Malcolm X when he's with the Nation of Islam, but not the Malcolm X that's out when he left the Nation of Islam. It's like
I
that's where
mean,
it stops. You gotta go all the way with it.
but see, that's just a point of history. The old adage is history is a record of accounts told by the winners. So if there's any truth to that, that means all the true history will forever be lost. Because like I remember I had a like little almanac trivia book, and one of the truths it had was all the presidents that actually had slaves. And like Lincoln was like the only one during that era that actually got away with saying, yo, he didn't have slaves. But up to like Ulysses Grant, the bulk of the fucking presidents had actual slaves and had like it broke down the numbers. And Washington was he was up there with Jefferson with the number of slaves.
I'm not even
So the reason
surprised.
why you got a lot of black Washingtons running around this world, they're probably descendants of the founding father.
And going back to what we were saying is that the black man is the ones that get the scrutiny, which unfortunately drained to, yes, I said drained to the black woman. But we are
It
so,
drains.
yeah.
I mean, it does that because, you know, like you said, we have so much on us as black men, so much to mentally maintain and psychologically arrange to find some kind of peace and ease the tension and the fucking migraines and
Right.
the blurry vision that comes from just the existential weight of being a black man in America. Because honestly, at any fucking, just like being a slave, it's still the same in 2021. At any given fucking moment, they could snatch my ass up. And now they got some shit called swatting that people do online. So somebody can
Oh yeah.
just swat me, and next thing y'all know, I got the feds kicking in my door shooting the dog.
Mm-hmm. For absolutely no reason, because somebody called online.
Because I'm a black man that they don't like. That's the reason.
Right.
You can build
Right.
with everything else you want around.
Right. And I hate to characterize us like this, but we're like that dog in the corner. Even if that person comes up, not trying to do no harm, trying to help us out, we're gonna lash out. And that's what I see in this situation when it comes to the LGBTQ community. And people don't understand. And peace, I'm happy that you opened up like you did when we started talking about this. We are so our masculinity has been shot, shunned, thrown around, and all that stuff that we try to grab onto what we have left. And if we see if we see anybody that's trying to trample on it or jump on it, we're quick to be like, we want to throw those hands. And when it comes to the LGBTQ community, they see that as a threat. And not understanding we got more in common with the LGBTQ than we even freaking realize. They're scrutinized, but it starts with us. when we see, I'm gonna use Empire for example. I know a lot of people it's had people said Power over Empire. I can't say that because I was still on the first episode of Power, and that was a long time ago. I don't know why I stopped watching it, but no disrespect.
As a music fan, that's what drew me to Empire. They actually had good songs on it.
Yeah,
and it went with content.
Yeah, so with Empire, you saw how Lucius treated his son when he came out in a dress. He literally put him in a trash can. Literally put him in a trash can. And his mom, Cookie, came out there and basically embraced him. And that's why they had close-knit relationship, because she was basically his shield to Lucius, his own dad.
But Lucius was a metaphor for the world.
Right.
How most men are bred to look at.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next point. There's a lot of black fathers that do that with their sons, not only with their sons, but also with their daughters. When they find out that they like the same sex, that they just basically shun them or treat them basically like shit. And they don't understand the repercussions that have on that child, and it lasts a lifetime.
You know why?
Go ahead.
Because we don't. One thing we have a problem as humans is translating knowledge into other facets and to better our understanding. Right. And when it comes to the homosexuals and trans community, the way I explain my understanding and respect of them is quite simple. As a man, we respect two things in regards to other men overall. We respect your threshold of pain and the level of your conviction, correct? If a man can take an enormous amount of pain, he's a badass. But if a man stands by some shit he believes in and sees that shit to the end, even at the cost of his life, i.e. William Wallace, he has the utmost respect and reverence, correct? Now, you have to put that mentality and apply it to other facets. Threshold of pain. This goes in regards to the homosexual community. Gentlemen, and I ask this to Donnell as well. After a real good Super Bowl, a holiday meal, and that stomach tell you that the Cleveland Browns have made a immediate Super Bowl push, and they taking this thing all the way, and they're gonna get that ring, and you better make it to that stadium. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That most sensitive part of your body, aka where your mama tell you to wash where the sun don't shine. Well, don't that sun don't shine area, don't it be hella tender afterwards? Almost making you question yourself, like, you feel like you done dropped the soap almost. You done thought that stuff to yourself after a good one of them. Now, homosexual men, they had that same sensation and pain, but in reverse. They're willing to go into a situation knowing, like for a better term, my butthole is going to feel like Super Bowl Sunday. Every single time. That is a level of threshold of pain you have to. I have asked many men this simple psychological and sociological question. You have to choose three options. You can be shot, you can be stabbed, or you could have a phallic-like penal instrument or object put into your anus for less than half of a second. Hear that? Less than half of a second. Every man I have ever asked has said, shoot me, stab me. I don't even ask what. Because some people get smart. Like, you didn't say where you gonna shoot me or stab me. Okay, so that means you'll take the dick in the butt. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you didn't tell me where he was gonna shoot me and stab me. So, if you have that type of mentality, you should have the utmost fucking respect for homosexual men out there.
And people don't understand that there are homosexuals. I'm not gonna say homosexual. You do got brothers out there that look and built like us, excuse me, out there that you least expect that are gay.
Gay as hell. I just lost one of them. Look, I just lost one of them. RIP. OG. He was about that gang life, known amongst the straight community as a thug with certified hands. Like, folk twice, 3 times his size respected him and would not step to him in that level because they knew you got a fight on your hands, and that most likely wasn't a fight you was gonna win. Come to find out, super gay. Yes. The first time I saw this nigga outside of high school, the first thing come out his mouth was, "Bitch, hold my purse." I turned around and seen him, and he was like, "By damn heart attack." That's like seeing Debo. That's like seeing Debo walking to the club looking like a 1970s Donna Karen drag queen. But good with it. But good with it. Like makeup done right and everything. Just buff with the shit. Like it was that type of culture shock. Once again, coolest nigga ever. I've known him up until that point, and we've never had no issues. I've always had respect to him and vice versa. So finding that out was just like, word? Okay. Shit. then you find out some other information was like, oh, well, damn, well, that shit makes sense. That's why he whooped that nigga ass?
You have to clutch your visual pearls, did you?
No, you're like, child. He beat the brains off that nigga. And they was lovers?
Oh.
Once again, love him to death. Like, they're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there. Like, when it comes to trans, I speak of that conviction shit. You respect the man to see everything through. A man that's willing to acknowledge and accept in himself that I am physically not the way I psychologically find peace with. And I'm willing to mutilate my body. I am willing to reverse some things. I will not go into the details of the actual surgery. Semper Fi, motherfucker. Semper Fi.
Yes.
I would take a dragon breath 12 gauge to the mouth. Smiling before I go through some shit like that. So any trans person that you know, tell them I said this. Please record this part. I got respect for you, my nigga. If you are willing to cut your penis off and live your life as a woman, you deserve the respect to be called man.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I actually had a friend, I think it was 3 years ago, he just went through surgery. I don't know if he did the full surgery, but he did. He transcended to being from a man to a woman.
So you ain't gotta ask a whole lot. It's real simple. If you meet somebody, you're questioning that, and they say yeah, they're trans. Your next question just should be pre-op, post-op, or pending. And if they're willing to act and they're willing to indulge you that far, then that shows them that you're at least knowledgeable and accepting enough to be willing to try to figure out how to go about speaking to you.
Right. So we're gonna take a commercial break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Lil Boosie on his comments about gays and mainly Lil Nas X. So brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. We will be right back.
Y'all bitch. He said something about some shit. Say he wanted to perform naked for charity. Like, bruh, they don't tell him nothing. They should be picking sides, man. You don't tell this little faggot ass nothing. That's the most disrespectful motherfucker in the world. He say he won't get naked on stage. Nigga, they got kids to watch that shit. Niggas be taking it too far. Nigga, go suck a dick on IG, nigga. Get fucking ass, nigga. Yeah. Trying to put that shit on all them churn, nigga. Go viral, nigga. Go suck a dick on IG, bitch. That nigga say he'll get naked for charity. And y'all talking about fucking debate. This man say he won't get naked for chicken churn. That nigga disrespectful like a motherfucker, Nas X. You a bitch. Nigga, go suck a dick on live, nigga. Go on turn out. Go get fucked by the other rappers in the game who like booty. Bitch, go get fucked on TV, nigga. Put a porn out, bitch. Yeah, this nigga the most disrespectful motherfucker in the game. Everybody ain't with that gay shit. The world need to know that everybody ain't with that gay shit. Man. Everybody not with it. It's not cool for everybody. You can't make the whole everybody not on that gay shit. Everybody don't want to get fucked in their ass. Everybody don't want to suck another nigga dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody not with that shit, you know? This motherfucker say he won't perform naked for charity. We're gonna suck a dick on live, nigga. Get fucked in your ass, all.
Excuse me.
Nigga, you wanna turn out like you wanna get naked in front of kids, nigga? Go suck a dick on live, nigga. Gay ass rapper. Who fucking you in the ass, nigga? Bitch ass, nigga. Trying to fuck with the baby on that, nigga. Look, I ain't the baby. Everybody ain't with that gay ass shit in the world, bro. You know, everybody don't want their son fucked in the ass, bro. Everybody don't want their son sucking another nigga dick, bro.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So you just saw that video. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna chime in with this real quick. So Boosie. If we go back on the lyrics, what you were saying about women, two dykes in the back seat, how you think the kids listening to that feels? You know, Set It Off. I'm a Dog. Because I got a couple of your songs on my Spotify. That's my workout one. But a lot of your lyrics, I don't want my kids years down the road listen to. And with your analogy, with your logic, that what Lil Nas X is pushing out with this gay agenda, you're pushing out an agenda too. Why would you say you like two dykes shooting people? Like, we could just go through your whole laundry list of what you be putting out in your music. So when you talk about pushing a gay agenda on children, look at what you putting out to children with your music. Well, your music then, because you're not putting out anything out now. Look at what you put out on those kids. Listen to what you're saying. All the things that you are sitting there getting mad with for Lil Nas X, you already did. And also, you the one that sit there and says, "Show me your ass and I'll give you $1,000 on your Instagram live," huh? Had women coming out of nowhere twerking. And then you remember that one time you almost got in trouble with the girl said that I think she said she was 18 or 16 or something like that. And you had to cut it off. Like, Boosie, really? And have you ever heard of, play on words? I won't say joking. You literally think when Lil Nas X, if he did say it, I don't know for a fact if he did, saying that he will strip butt naked for charity, you think he's really going to do that? Says the man, "I give you $1,000. Show your ass, I give you $1,000. Come on. Make it make sense. Before you say anything, before you think you saying something and people going to agree with you and all that stuff, remember, you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Because ever since Boosie now tell me if I'm wrong, Beast, and I want anybody on this, who watched the show now or later down the road, tell me this, riddle me this, Batman. Lil Boosie became a whole lot different once he came out of prison, where he also literally said that black people were the worst. But everybody's still rocking with Lil Boosie. Everybody's still rocking with him. When he literally said in the interview that black people are the worst. He believed in black on black crime when he was perpetuating that in his music. And he's still perpetuating all that same shit before prison. But he's not doing it in his music. He's doing it on his Instagram Live. For him to sit there and say, "Well, I want my kids to be around all that stuff." So you want your kids to be around when you would sit there and say, "Suck my dick," and, "I'm about to pop this dick out the clip," and all that stuff. Really? The grass is not greener on your side, Boosie. It's dirt, broken glass, probably got a mean-ass pit bull with a freaking goddamn rabies.
Speaking. He ain't rabies, but he must have heard you talking about him.
I ain't talking about your dog, but you can't sit there and say all these things when you already did it and you still perpetuating it and still doing it. So Boosie, it's very rich and bold that you come out and you say these things about Lil Nas X. You was not speaking no lick of truth. You were just rambling. Completely rambling. You're the same guy who sit here, do all these things on Instagram. You get kicked off of Instagram, but then you sit there, you cussing out the freaking guy that runs Instagram. And I remember your last video that you did was about deers up in your freaking on your football field, and said that you need killers, you need shooters. But then it made me think, you got a football field. Why the hell don't you use that money to make your own social media? I mean, you think, the gay agenda is such a big thing and that there's a war on heterosexual men. Why don't you start your own social media to the point where it helps out with your logic? That you're sick and tired of getting kicked off of Instagram. Why don't you go on to freaking, why don't you just make your own social media? So it's pretty it's pretty bold, little Boost, that you would say something like that, But yeah, go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say.
I think one thing that people need to understand is this is the second half of these over sexualization and desensitizing the masses. Can't just necessarily say kids. This is the masses at this point. In the beginning, it was all about getting people cool with the idea and comfortable with the idea of sex. And the masses at that point were heterosexual. So you're going to start with the heterosexual. Now they've embraced the other aspects. And you're seeing that now. But what you're also seeing is the effemination and demasculization of the male species overall, not just the black male. They're using the LGBTQ community to project that sense of they're attaching the effeminate ways and submissive beta male tactics with many of the gay and LGBT community members. So, because it's always been you're less masculine and less of a man if you were gay. You were more feminine. That's always been the case when presenting homosexuality or any other non-hetero sexual proclivity.
I just think you got people like Little Booster to just come out of nowhere and just think that, oh, you making sense. No, you're not making sense, dude. Because look at the
he's not using the right words. He's not using the right words. That's his issue.
I just see him just look at the carnage that you caused. That's the difference between somebody understanding what they did and try to right that wrong. But he's not even saying that. He's not even doing that. And for him to sit there and throw his insecurities on Lil Nas X, which I do support Lil Nas X, do what you're doing. Make your money, but you need to start talking to the black media more, dude. Stop trying to talk to all those white outlets before everybody. That's my only knock on Lil Nas X. But people who have a problem with seeing this gay agenda all over the place, this is what you can do. If I don't like Chevrolet, I can't stand Chevrolet. Guess what I do? I don't go to their dealership. I stay away from them.
I'm not gonna fuck with them unless they causing people to die.
Right. Or me being a Coca-Cola fan. I hate Pepsi. What do? I stay away from Pepsi products, mainly their sodas. Unless I'm at a restaurant that only serves Pepsi products, give me a Sierra Mist. That's it. If I don't like what I see on television, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it off. Even if it's, I'm going to use
something else.
Right. Even if with Empire, because Empire, you saw a lot of lesbian, you see a lot of gay stuff up in there. But even if I think that it's too much, guess what I can do? I can turn it off, or just flick it to watch something else.
Yeah.
People don't understand. It's that simple. It's that freaking easy to do. Rather than
Or
sit there and whine and complain. Go ahead, please.
because this is the technological age, you could just, if you're one of those contradictive, hypocritical a-holes that has just that issue with that aspect of the show, but you still like the show. That's why you. That's why you want to boycott it, because you really like the show. You just don't like the show with the gay shit. They have this app called YouTube. It is a very wondrous app because
Which we are live on.
you have a multitude of people. Thank you. Shouts out. Do things such as make compilations, which is just a bunch of snippets of whatever particular subject. And Empire would be one of them. So if you're one of those folks that just like it for the drama, you got a compilation for that. Just like for the music, there's a compilation for that. If you want something that is the show minus the gay shit, YouTube is your place to go. So why you want?
Right. If you don't like seeing the gay shit on your computer screen, your TV screen, just turn it off. And the sad thing is, us black men, and I've categorized us and put us in there. We sit there, we the first to sit there and say, when somebody come at us, to get out your emotions. But we be the most emotional ones.
You're just illogical.
Right. It's like, you can't sit there and say stop being emotional, but if you see something, see the first thing, you can see a poster of freaking Lil Nas X. And you be in your feels like, how the fuck this nigga get up here and all that stuff.
Here's the thing about Lil Nas X. Once it was confirmed that yes, this boy is gay, that's how he lived his life. Suwu, gas bitch, and all that good shit. He's like any young person that finally has a chance to live their life, and they've been repressed for the bulk of it, and they got fucking money. You think they ain't about to show their ass? And they got a lot of fucking money and a lot of notoriety and embrace for them living their life and living their truth. You think they ain't about to roll with that? Most of the shit that he says just out of spite, just to fuck with people. Just like, oh, well, if you think I'm gay, I can be super gay, which is like the manliest thing you can really do when you think about the psychology behind it. Like, if you question my manhood, if you question my ways in any way as a man, I will up the ante.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong for saying that?
No, you're not. You basically tested somebody's gangster. Just to see how far
There
they
you
go.
go. For the black folk. You testing his gay gangster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gay. Y'all had a problem with me. Y'all had a problem with me as a gay man kissing two men on stage. Like, what was it? Like the girls did it. Madonna,
Christian Aguilera, and Britney Spears.
And Britney. So yeah, y'all cool with the dykes, but y'all ain't cool with the gays. All right, well fuck it. I'm like now. I'm gonna up the ante. I'm gonna perform butt naked for charity, nigga. And if enough people are willing to pay him, and there's enough legal liability not on him, that nigga will do it.
And then, you know what? And just to go on what you just said, Beast, who knows? It could be an adult charity. It could be for freaking breast cancer. It could be for prostate cancer. It could be for LGBTQ community charity. So when people think about charity,
AIDS awareness, it could be for AIDS awareness through the porn community.
Right.
Or porn community.
And the thing is, people just think when they think about charity, think about children, wholesome, type of, you know, awareness and all that stuff. But there's a lot of charities out there for different things other than just helping out kids and curing diseases. So it could be a charity out there for people who lives butt naked, who don't wear clothes, who think wearing
A
clothes is sin.
nudist.
So
A
right,
nudist
yeah,
political party.
right. So what Boosie is saying is he don't realize that's the norm of society that he is saying. He's not saying that that's conspiracy. That's a norm. Because when you think about charities, the first thing you think about is like what was that? That Susan Coleman breast cancer awareness. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of like when I hear
You think
charity, that's
about
the first
some ribbons, some different
thing.
color ribbons, or some fucking wristbands.
Yeah, or some people would have the shirts. And here's the thing: you got some dudes that have the shirt that says "Save the Tatas," and they got tits on their freaking shirt. So you
But
gonna
if it's
get
pink,
mad,
it's breast cancer awareness. You get away with it.
right? So you gonna get mad at Lil Nas X for saying that when you got breast cancer awareness. I think we're coming up on breast cancer awareness. To tell you the truth, where they say "Save the Tatas," so you got some that's outright to say "Save the tits," and they got titties showing out the shirt. And nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. But you get mad at Lil Nas X for saying that, oh, you know, I'm gonna go butt naked for charity. You don't even know what charity he's talking about. And what do you mean, see for the kids? Your videos, like Wipe Me Down, who had a lot of twerkers, a lot of video vixens in. Beast, you remember that video? How many vixens did you count on your freaking hand? You probably couldn't. You probably had to use your toes because that's how many vixens was in that damn video.
And it's
That
funny
was
you said that because that song had one of the gayest moments in hip hop when they performed it live. When Webby and the other dude got very baby Wayne close to the face. Yeah, this was live.
or how about this? Lil Wayne, he didn't say anything, but a lot of people was coming at Wayne and Baby when they had that kiss, you know, father and son. But then y'all still rock with them. y'all still rock with them. Lil Wayne's the greatest rapper to ever live. But y'all mad Lil Nas X because he pushing the gay agenda. Where you seen Baby and freaking Lil Wayne on many different occasions dapped and kissed. For me, I understand, you know, that was like a father to him. You know, you still got, I don't agree with it. I don't agree. If I have my son, I'm not gonna kiss him on the mouth. I'm gonna kiss him on the cheek or the forehead. That's as close as that's gonna ever get. But
That's man love.
right. But
Anything else is weird.
right. But that's their relationship. So all I'm saying is that I always say on this show, keep the same energy. Y'all sit there saying Lil Wayne's the greatest rapper alive, but Lil Nas X is pushing the gay agenda. Where you saw countless times where Lil Birdman and Lil Wayne did this in front of people. Picture and video. So he get
It's a grown
past.
man in the left.
Right. He gonna get past it, not to mention. But Lil Wayne and him share not kids. They share freaking girlfriends. Like, come on, man, make it make sense, my brothers.
Okay,
Make it make sense.
it's one thing to share in that aspect as far as man law go. But I ain't about to share and be kissing you on the mouth.
Hell no. I wouldn't even do it with my daughter.
No, that's some Dewey Cox basis. I've been having confused thoughts about this for years. Type shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, brothers, make it make sense, man. We just can't sit here 1 minute. We just let that just go like a fart in the wind. But we got to get on Lil Nas X because there's a lot of things in hip hop that we question about. Sagging up the pants, freaking when Rick Ross and the freaking Diddy had that close encounter of the third kind on stage. Let's get that clear. I mean, there's a lot of instances, a lot of freaking times that we can bring up. It don't come to mind now, but we know it happened.
Hey, I'm not speaking ill of the dead, but let's just keep it real. One of the quintessential things that everybody questioned and found, and it got to a point of whimsical humor about DMX, was the fact that this man would threaten you, tell you about his dogs, and tell you how he fucked bitches in the midst of telling some random dude or random male entity to suck his dick through like the bulk of the album. Every other song, every song was like, at some point, suck my dick. Are you catching the dance for? Suck my dick. And then come the end of the prayer, come the end of the whole thing. Let us pray. And follow the Lord. Now, nobody ever questioned this manhood at all. And that was some, like, really? I mean, I know you've been locked up on that. I've been locked up in. I understand the sentiment. But I ain't just gonna be out here willy-nilly telling any male entity or any male ear, suck my dick. Because there's some strong ass prison faggots out there.
Yeah, like first of all, you ever heard of the Booty Warrior? I like it and I want you.
No,
you want to use the easy way or the hard way?
My personal one is Mordecai was 6'4". Mordecai bench 700, easy, did vertical pull-ups, and had a slick back and perm meaner than every female guard. His hair game was better than every female employee in the prison. And any female that talk shit to him, that's the first thing he say to them. Like, bitch, my hair look better than yours, and I'm in prison. What's your excuse?
Wow. Now,
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, ain't no comment. You gonna put solitary confinement? Oh wow, whoopty. Probably a big issue for him. But for just to close out on this, is then we can go to Beast Community. Is this black men? We got other fish to fry, if you catch my drift. And we just can't give certain people passes. We need to hold them accountable as much as y'all try to hold Lil Nas X accountable for what? For him just being gay. There's no gay agenda out here. It's just more accepted in society nowadays. Back in the day, just like our ancestors, when they were in their interracial relationship, for two same-sex couples, they either get beaten or sent to jail. And those same gay folks, lesbian folks, LGBTQ folks, they marched with Dr. King. They believed in what Malcolm X was saying, both when he was with the Nation of Islam, when he was out. Even Newton, Huey Newton, one of the co-founders of the Black Panther, which nobody don't want to talk about when he said power to the people, and he talked about gay.
He meant that people.
He meant liberation. Also, not only just for black people, he meant that for white folks, he meant that for Asian folks, he meant that for Hispanic folks. He also mentioned it for the gays. So I'm sick and tired of the freaking black conscious movement sitting there saying, well, gays, you know, they try to take over everything. This is what happens when you got your shit together. When you got your shit together and somebody says something out of line, just like the mafia, take care of that shit. And that's what happened to the baby and other people alive. Because the baby's not going to be the first and the last that will have this happen to him.
No.
It's not no damn game, Jim. The LGBTQ plus community are organized. They got the people in line. Yes, do they got them in their line in their pockets? So be it. They're organized. They just know if you say something wrong about us, guess what? We got your ass. Just like they try to condemn the freaking Jewish community. They're organized. They got people in their pockets. They got their freaking issues that have turned to agendas because they know where to put the energy at. They know where to put the money at, and they know how to get allies, paid or rented or groomed. This is why I always say we need to start a damn super PAC. We need to all get together, groom our kids, rent politicians that's already in, start local, and start putting them in position of power so our issues turn into agendas, not campaign promises. This is why we keep losing. And for us black men, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it further too as well when I say this. When I showed that video on the Alamonte show of that officer on top of the little girl just because she jaywalked and come to find out on his body cam, he was harassing her the whole entire time. Black men should have all got together, should have went down to that damn precinct and let the freaking police officer know, like, that shit ain't gonna fly. And I'm not talking about just going down there with no arms in hand. Go down there, whatever weapon you got, and let them know. Y'all bring that bullshit up in here, and again, we're going to break it to you. We got experience. We got people with military experience. We got thugs right here that know how to...
I do thank you for saying that right there. Are you thugs? Y'all so quick to go to jail and earn clout and shit in prisons. Well, I'll tell you right, the best clout you get right there, what you locked up for? Beating up a cop. What for? Because this motherfucker decided he wanted to put their hands on some little girl that was jaywalking. That shit wasn't right. Mm-hmm. Hey, my nigga, what your books look like? You straight? I mean, shit, man, you need something, man, come holler at me, man. You ain't got to worry about paying me back nothing, nigga. It's good. Instant respect.
Right, and then also I'm thinking to myself, too, recruiting in the freaking prison. When's enough gonna be enough? Where they gonna be like, you know what? We just sitting around standing, and y'all just walking around. We got y'all asses. It's 100 to 1 compared to the guards. I'm not inciting violence. They do it all the time. Yeah, so I'm not inciting violence, but we need to step up in a big motherfucking way. If all this attention that we give to Lil Nas X and the LGBTQ community, we could be using it in our own damn community, working within the system, because like I said on this show, when you work outside the system, you ain't nothing but somebody just yelling outside the door. It ain't going to do much. Nobody ain't going to hear you. Nobody don't care. Or as I like to say, the glorified peanut gallery that thinks they know what to do and tell you what you need to do. And then you tell them, hey, come on, show me. Oh, no, it's your job. But you were talking all that shit in the stands. Now I'm telling you, come on down here and do something. We need to step up in a big goddamn way. Take this attention off of Lil Nas X, because at the end of the day, when he wakes up, he's going to be a millionaire over and over again and make money. And knowing that he's living rent-free in y'all heads, it's just that one thing where if he's going, knock on wood, if he ever goes to depression, what's going to stop him from going to depression is knowing that he's living rent-free in y'all head, and he get to look at his bank account. Your available balance is $3,233,000. And I'm stressed out over y'all. Yeah, and I'm stressed out over y'all. Nah, I'm good. While y'all still got to work y'all 9 to 5, still working for the man.
It's more the added benefit and salt in the wound of I know who I am. I love who I am. the world loves who I am, and I get money off of it too. That's the real like kick in the nuts.
Right. And guess what? And even when I wake up the next day, I can choose to sleep in and don't have to worry about going to work. And they will grant it to me. That's the only difference. And with that, Beast, it's time for us to head on to the community. But before we head on to the community, I got to share one thing with Teach. She is doing her thing, man. I'm telling you. Teach, you are here. Teach, you are here with us in spirit. She already have her hold. Let's see. Let's go ahead and show her. Look at Teach, y'all. Look at Teach. She is doing her thing over in Africa right now with the African
She's about to fuck around the police array. Somebody queen.
I'm saying.
Either queen or royal consort.
Right. Can I officially say that Teach is kind of like the Andrew Rye of like the African Union? I'm gonna say that. she is like the queen. Yeah. She's the queen of everything Africa. She is the queen mother. Let's keep it real. But other than that, speaking of keeping it real, it's time for us to go to the community. What you got on tap for us?
We'll continue talking about letting cooler heads prevail, and the benefits of the sociopathic mindset. It'll make sense.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, come on in. We about to go to Beast Community.
Now, when people usually say let cooler heads prevail, they usually think, just forget it and move to the side, which is not really applicable for a lot of individuals. So you got to kind of alter the approach. And when you're letting cooler heads prevail, you're allowing the logic and ration of all facets of the current situation and current catalyst for your feeling some kind of way. A little bit of self-analysis, and really just weighing out all the options and understanding the worst case consequence possible. Moving in that fashion allows you to not immediately knee jerk and jump into a situation that could have easily been handled with no violence or violence at a later date. That's for more of my street niggas out there. Because even when cooler heads prevail doesn't necessarily mean that the situation is always over. It's just at that moment it's not advantageous and beneficial on your part to engage in the knee-jerk reactions of your emotions. Going back to my opening statement about that old man. If he'd allowed his cooler head to prevail and not give in to his weird emotional response and need to say things that will purposely agitate, he still have his fucking job and he'd be getting that goddamn extra money. If he'd taken the time to actually sit down and think about it, I got this extra check coming. No matter how I feel about this person, ain't no real point in trying to even acknowledge them till at least I get that check. After I get that check, then I might let that motherfucker know how I feel about it. But I want that money first. I need that money first. I can do some shit. That's how you're supposed to think. That's acknowledging, that's the sociopathic side of it. Acknowledging the response, acknowledging the issue, but choosing not to go with. Because all a sociopath is somebody that acknowledges good and bad and remorse. They just choose not to let it affect them. That's all a sociopath really is. So we'll take that kind of same mindset and take it away from murder and hurt and violence and apply it to something more beneficial. Like keeping your violent tendencies in check and allowing yourself not to do something at that moment that could fuck you up long term. I had a situation with one of my sister's so-called ex-boyfriends, real smug little piece of shit. Thought he was gonna run my mama's house. Nah, I'm not gonna happen. Called himself wanting to put hands on my sister, and I got wind. And I made sure to let it be known, as I let it be known prior, that if you fuck with my family, I had no problem going back to prison. So once I found this information out, I waited. I waited because it was not advantageous for me at that moment to really run up on. I had about 2 or 3 good moments where the devil put him in my eye line, but God did not give me the shot. So I couldn't interact. But eventually I did. And even then, I let the cooler head prevail. Ran up on him in the street with some new little girl. Just let them know that, hey, I know what you did. And as easy as I can run up on you now, I can run up on you again. So I would advise that you change everything you do because the next brother you piss off will not be as calm as I am. And they might just hit you and take her out too. And I drove off. I could easily beat that motherfucker ass. There was a witness. Then I had to worry about keeping her quiet and making sure if I do whoop his ass, I don't have enough for me for her to identify. And that's too much. Too much. I can't and will scare the fucking hell out of you. Make the bitch up. I can do that. I can put you in a situation where that new female now has to question your actions. Because what did you do to make some girl's brother randomly pull up in a truck and hop out with the car still running? With every physical intention of beating your ass. What did you do? Yeah, you can't lie out of shit like that. See, by letting your cooler head prevail, you understand that there's better ways to go about handling these situations. Some of them can be handled at later days. Some, you just kind of got to take on the chin. You take the time to analyze and be rational, logical, with not just the situation, but with your emotions. Do they hold any valid, validity or merit? Is the reason why you are emotional something that could truly justify violent reaction if you were caught by the police? You gotta be able to explain this shit. If I beat his ass and tell the police, hey, this nigga was beating on my sister and I just found out, I might fuck around and get the one cop that got the sister and be like, I respect, bro, go and do what you gotta do. and let me off. Or just give me a fucking citation. But you gotta let cooler heads prevail in order to truly maneuver through the world. The social media is dead keen on getting people to do knee-jerk reactions. Always take a moment to fall back from a situation, especially if you feel that urge upon it. Cooler head prevail. Cooler head prevail is the reason why revenge is a dish that's served cold. And with that, I hope you enjoyed coming down to my community. Hope you were informed, enlightened, and entertained, as well as educated. Feel free to pop on by any other time. Please call before you come. Everybody get the dog situation. Have a good.
Thank you for that piece. I just want to do a final point, and then we're gonna head on out. My final point is this: there's no such thing as a gay agenda. If you believe that there's a gay agenda, then what are you going to replace it with?
There's an emasculation. There's that agenda. There's an agenda to weaken the mental structure that is a man and make it more submissive.
But my thing is, if you don't like that agenda, what agenda are you going to replace it with? Because everybody has an agenda. So when you talk about somebody else's agenda, realize you got an agenda too. And then also realize what you put in life, you surely would get back. Somebody else is going to be questioning your agenda too, because they're going to be saying the same thing. So like the old saying goes, you get what you give.
Yep.
So be careful when you say there's an agenda going on, because anybody who got common sense and great logic, or at least simple logic, they're going to be like, okay, what you got to put to the table? Because like the Sergeant Major told me, if you come up to me with a problem and don't have no solutions for me to work off of, it's still going to be a problem. If you don't give me it, because I'm going to treat this like problems that anybody come up to me with. But if you offer me solutions that I can work with, I can do something. I take it seriously. But till then, I treat it as a gripe of anybody coming up to me with an issue. So remember, when you have a problem, you better come up with the solutions. And not only with the solutions, the same scrutiny that you was given to that agenda, that you better be ready for when you start to be on the receiving end of those grunts as well. So I just want to throw that out there. But Friday, hopefully we be live on Friday. If we don't, we're going to apologize in advance. But Soul Friday, we will be here. Beach, are you going to be here?
Yes, it should be here Friday.
All right, cool. So with all that being said, we are out. So thank you for tuning in on this Wednesday. This whole entire week is going to be about us black men to have that conversation, to talk about it, and we will continue that on Friday. And with that, as for my dog, my bro, Beach Johnson, as well as me as your gracious host, Don Alamonte Boys, thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all on Friday. And also, don't forget to check out my boy Beach Johnson's video. Come check it out. I played the whole time video on Monday. I encourage y'all to go.
Say hello to the dog.
And hello, dog.
How you doing,
dog? And with that, we catch y'all later. See y'all later. Y'all have a good one. And also, Sky Society, thank you for sponsoring this whole show. Don't forget to check out their merch and everything else as it strolls down the bottom. Y'all have a good one. Bye.